video of a close encounter with the third kind. We have people that have talked about being inside ships. We have people saying they've had anal probes from aliens. We have nothing. We have no video. Where is it?
Okay, so it's a great question, by the way, and that was one of the reasons why we ended up on the front page of the New York Times, because some official cockpit recordings were made of these objects, coupled with eyewitness testimony, coupled with radar, ground radar, airborne radar. But when I met with Senator Reid, and I've been hearing about these stories of military guys saying, yeah, we shot this footage and we handed it over to a government, jet, and it flew off to Washington, gone forever. So I was talking to Senator Reid about this, because I want to know too. Like, I'm right there with you, right? And I said, I met with Mercury astronaut Gordon Cooper, who was the last American astronaut to go up in space alone. He's an iconic figure of my father's generation, really well-known guy, and very credible. And he told me in an account on camera, it's in one of my films Out of the Blue, he's like, there was an incident that happened at Edwards Air Force Base circa 1957 of a landing on the dry lake bed in broad daylight. They were filming the installation of an F-86 fighter jet runway. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this disc-shaped craft lands on the dry lake bed. The guys with their cameras turned it on the craft, and they film it, and it sits on the ground, and then it takes off. And he said he literally put the gear in the wheel oil and shot off at an extremely high rate of speed, and it was a disc. No wings, no tail, no visible propulsion, blah, blah, blah. So he gets the film footage developed, and again, he's telling me all this on camera. He gets the film footage developed, and he gets higher and higher up to eventually a courier jet comes in from Washington, D.C., picks up the footage. He said he didn't play it through the machine, but he looked at it and he could see the disc on the ground, the developed film footage. So I was telling the story to Senator Reid, because I'd like to know where the hell that footage went to. And he goes, and I said, yeah, and then he hands the footage over to this courier jet, and then Reid goes, and it was never seen or heard from ever again. I went, yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I go, did you guys come across this stuff? He goes, it's all here. It's all there.
Oh, they have it.
Yes. He goes, it's all there. We have all of it.
All where? All where?
In the government files, like in the Pentagon.
You gotta go get them.
I know. So look, there's another thing I'm getting to. So I put together a call to action, because I actually went to Washington, D.C. years ago, and I pulled aside chief of staff primarily, but some congressmen, some senators, and I said, look, what is it going to take? They're all, do you think this is a career-enhancing move for us to go out without the support of our constituents to, like, look at it? Do they know what's going on? I mean, some of them do, and some of them hear certain things, but they need to hear from the general public, like, hey, we want more government transparency on this topic. And right before I came on the show, I talked with Lou Elizondo, who was the director of the secret Pentagon UFO program, and I said, hey, I'm going on this show. He goes, great. He goes, I think one of the reasons why we're getting as much traction today is because the newer generation are much more open to this. They haven't been jaded with all the other crap that's gone down the pike in the last 50 years. So he thinks that an informed public is much more difficult to pull the wool over their eyes. So I have a call to action on the website. I got contacted by this 22-year-old law student, and she's like, hey, I saw your movie. It was amazing. What can I do? I said, well, I'm thinking about putting together a call to action where you can just literally go on my site, click I've got the text already written. This woman, Karina, put it out, and you click it to your congressman, your senator, because the more people they hear from us, that footage does exist. I know of footage right now of stuff that came out of the ocean that was photographed last year. I've talked to Christopher Mellon and Lou Elizondo. We know these things exist, and we want it out to the